Okay, so we now go to the fourth guidelines, principle. I said a while ago, the reason why it is made as a constitutional provision in Section 15, Article 10, the Philippine Constitution, that says there shall be autonomous region Muslim Mindanao in the Cordilleras, is because even the national government admits that the development of these areas had been neglected. The only legal justification to speed up its socio-infrastructure development to catch up with the other regions is to extend to them autonomous status. With that as the background why this is made a constitutional provision, we should therefore come out with these four guidelines or principle that should now mandate the national government to fulfill its obligation by giving to the region a subsidy to achieve the purpose of speeding its socio-economic infrastructure development. Which, again, this feature is just placed here. It can be subject to our discussion in agreement later on. Just for our examples, we suggested, because this was the one that we did suggest during the second autonomy law, 10 billion per year for the first 5 years. And then 5 billion per year for the next 5 years. Or a total of 75 billion for a period of 10 years. Actually, this was our agreement in the previous second autonomy law. Unfortunately, when it was enacted by Congress, if you look at Section 8 of the transitory provision, what was approved was 4 billion for the first 5 years. Sana pa inbagain niya nga 4 billion per year for the first 5 years, but it said 4 billion for the first 5 years. And then 3 billion for the next 5 years. In short, 7 billion for a period of 10 years. So nga, we hope that we can generate collective unity in support to see to it that it should not be this way. Otherwise, the national government cannot comply with its own admission that the development of these two regions had been neglected, and the only way to speed up its socio-economic infrastructure development is to extend to them autonomous status. Alright, so that's the fourth principle. But let us not forget that we should include in the law itself how the seed subsidy will be allocated from the region to the provinces, to the cities, municipalities, down to the barangays. So that we will avoid the possibility that whoever will be the elected regional governor, he will have the discretion and authority not to release the share of any of the local government units within the region. So, that is, in a nutshell, the fourth basic guideline. So, there we are.
In other words, immunize it from party
yes.
politics.
We, in short, as said by Director Ngalo, we have to immunize from party politics the distribution of the subsidy so that it will really achieve its purpose, which is to speed up the socio-economic infrastructure development in all the local government units in the region, which includes, of course, the barangays. Ada nga tao objection ni Jan? Yes.
This is not an objection, Mr. Chair, but I'm looking at the reason behind the national subsidy. it is stated here is that the reality that the development of the two regions have been neglected, etc. I wonder, my understanding and appreciation of the clause, the autonomy provisions of the Constitution is related to heritage and therefore related to the Cordillera, like the Muslim Mindanao, as one nation. So I'm looking
Not
at
one nation, one autonomous region.
no, I mean in the case of being considered nationalism from the point of view of having one costume.
Yeah, they are fighting for their independence. That is what is being objected by them.
My meaning is, of course, in relation to being one people with one heritage, one tradition, one common tradition. And therefore, that I think, again, basing it on the IPRA, is a very important reason for asking for additional money as a matter of right, not only as parang nagbebeg ka kasi if you use the word subsidy. So I recommend that tingnan natin yung possibility na baguhin natin yung the neglect is not because the neglect is more the problem of the national government because they failed to see that we are already autonomous culturally. So therefore, it is getting back that right para yung what is due to us will be given to the region. Yun lang po ang
there's no problem. We can reward it. The most important here is yung national government should give us the necessary fund. We need the necessary fund that develops and promote our own culture. As you said, not only road infrastructure, but even human infrastructure. That will cover all of them. I will be very happy if you can include some definitions that will enrich and cover everything that we want to cover in this line. Anyway, is there any objection to this fourth guideline or principle?